So the Sonic movie just came out, and by apparently being pretty decent and okay, that qualified it as a masterpiece by video game movie standards. So I got to thinking about Sonichu and how so many people have asked me to review it, and I'm here like, why though? What do you want me to say about freaking Sonichu? Just showing screen caps and saying, wow, this is so bad every 10 seconds? What am I, the nostalgia critic? You thought I'd do it, you dang clods? You simpleton fools? Just joking, you know I have nothing but love for you all. But another work, a far more interesting one, has carried on the spirit and core themes of Sonichu really well. And that is Laserbot's DeviantArt epic, The Silmarillion of the Internet, Tails Gets Trolled. Despite its simple name, Tails Gets Trolled is actually about so many things. It's about the online culture of the early to mid 2010s, about revenge, about celebrating the insane absurdity that can come from the human imagination. Is it a self-aware piece or a completely sincere attempt at epic storytelling? I don't know, both most likely, who cares? This comic is great. It's been almost 2 years since I did a live stream reading this masterpiece, this Lord of the Rings for the internet era, and I had to do it on Laserbot's personal DeviantArt page. All credit to him for creating this comic and managing to steal all these intellectual properties and combining them so effectively. After 2 long hours of top-notch voice acting from yours truly, featuring a Luigi that sounds suspiciously like Ben Shapiro.
My beef is with Mario. I'm done being in your shadow. I'm done following you around, Mario. No one thanks me, it's all thank you, Mario. No one thanks me, it's always Mario. You get everything, you get the good games, the better women.
I was astonished to find out that I was only at the end of chapter 4 of 23. Since the stream, a group of heroes have managed to put together a website, tailsgetstrolled.org, short for Orgasm, the one that I was having upon discovering this website, which houses the entire saga, plus various side stories, specials, and one-off art pieces from the TTG cinematic universe. It's not the most optimized site, with images taking a long time to load, but I can expect server capacity similar to DeviantArt from this small hobbyist project. So if you want to read this thing, go on this website to do it. The story begins, true to its name, with Miles Tails Prower getting viciously trolled and called various slurs by 2 trolls. Where did they come from? How do they fit in the Sonic canon? The answers to those questions will come later, and they're just as amazing as you might think, but to get to it, Tails is traumatized and goes to tell Sonic and Shadow. What's he crying about now? He's been getting trolled! You know how it is, they're calling Tails gay and shit. He can't take it. The way to stop a troll is to become his friend. As his friend, you can show him the right path. That is bull. Shit. Don't listen to him. That won't work. How do you deal with a troll, Shadow? I'll show you. Fuck you, trolls. Laserbot's genius is on full display as these 3 characters exemplify the ego, the superego, and the id, respectively. Sonic tries a peaceful solution, but when that fails, Shadow goes in and shows the kids what to do when being bullied. He kills the fuck out of them, and along with Tails and Knuckles, buries their bodies with Shadow and Knuckles bonding over a high shovel. When a mysterious anime OC, do not steal, alerts Shadow by stepping on a leaf, and then Mario shows up, I knew I was in for something truly special. A crossover rivaling Super Smash Bros. Ultimate itself. I will definitely lend my programming and writing expertise gladly if a Tails Gets Trolled fan video game is ever made. Anyway, as happens frequently in Laserbot's epic story, the Iliad of the Internet Age, this conflict between Sonic and Shadow is quickly thrown out the window when the sword-wielding troll, who reminds me of future Trunks,
if they set that android free, it will be the end of all of us! No!
comes in with a trio of other trolls. Oh shit, it's the PewDiePie submission subreddit attack. This guy started giving me unprompted lectures about white genocide and the fall of Western civilization on the street once. This is followed by some truly anime-style fighting involving Sonic going Super Saiyan and joining in the carnage. The action and one-liners are straight out of a shonen anime, with one of the trolls straight up Naruto running, while the carnage is out of a seinen like Berserk or something. Truly, this is a masterful blend of genres. After that, Shadow, with the help of Silver, assembles a group dedicated to fighting trolls. This group is amazing as it includes Mario, Luigi, Bugs Bunny, Teemo from League of Legends, the Hulk, who can't fit in the panel most of the time and accomplishes virtually nothing, and lastly, but 100% legit, no cap, not leastly, Rob. The man with no ears.
Rob!
Like, that's his whole gimmick. He has no ears, so he can't hear anything the others tell him, so he has to keep asking what they're saying all the goddamn time. What did you say? Get it? Because he has no ears. I said that we need a hideout. What is he saying? I can't hear. What? Oh yeah, I forgot he can't hear. What? I don't have fucking ears. Put that quote on the box. If you read it and don't think this is funny, then I don't know what to tell you, except that you're objectively wrong. Now, as a reminder, this is a comic that no doubt features more racism, homophobia, and other associated slurs than an average drama alert comment section on a good day. But all of this comes from the trolls themselves, who are portrayed throughout the hundreds of pages of this comic as repulsive, dim-witted, violent, and uniformly in the wrong. The trolls are like a conglomeration of all that is wrong with the internet, spouting asinine and tired insults before being killed in a very gory fashion afterward. It's dark revenge fantasy that doesn't take itself too seriously, and neither should you going forward, even if there is satisfaction from seeing Bowser crush someone's head like a ripe melon. So, when Shadow's Troll Slayer group tried to trap the trolls in a sting operation by arranging a fake Justin Bieber concert, things go truly off the rails and more betrayals, fight scenes, and plot twists ensue than in a Hideo Kojima cutscene, and they're just as wordy, with characters' speech bubbles filling entire panels as they rant on. Skipping ahead a bit, we are introduced to the story's main antagonist, the mysterious Troll King, as fight scenes and exposition ramps up and the story begins to kind of lose its luster. Sonic actually straight up fucking dies, and to be honest, we don't see that much of Tails or Shadow either most of the time, as the cast blows up to gargantuan proportions. Tails is kidnapped by the mysterious organization Defenders, who also fight against trolls, and they train him to give him all sorts of anime and video game powers. So, without spoiling the actually legitimately, I'm not being ironic here, cool reasons why it happens, Mario fights the Troll King in a prolonged anime battle that eventually ends with him incapacitating Mario with one of the death words. He already said the dreaded C word against Luigi earlier. I like that there's a lot of asterisks in the middle, but the word is actually not even censored. But what awful word could he possibly pull out against Mario? He says the N-word. What is this? This is what passes for content these days? Like, is this what I should do? Pseudo-ironic reviews of quasi-ironic DeviantArt comics? No. This cannot be my life. It will not be my life. Come on, let's do something else. Oh my god. What a horrible dream. Oh good, webcomic reviews. This is my favorite type of content. I love doing it. So I have to say, most of the memeable panels and quotes from this series seem to come from the first third. After that, the plot goes pretty much nowhere. Fair warning, I'm gonna spoil a lot from this moment on. Tails is mostly stuck being trained by characters in the Defenders, and is involved in a three-way relationship drama with Hello Kitty and Amy Rose, the latter who has a completely horrifying backstory regarding Eggman, which just makes this already dark story plummet into some pretty disgusting and nearly unreadable depths. If you're not bothered by that, then hey, and whatever, just read on. A whole chapter is dedicated to the backstory of these Looney Tunes characters going out on a night of drinking, and nothing all that funny happens except Tom saying this immortal line, which is probably, without hyperbole, the funniest thing I've ever seen. Apparently these guys are necromancers or some shit. Also, the Defenders aren't actually doing anything against the trolls, as one of them, the Cheeto Man, is a pimp and a drug dealer who has the Defenders under his heel. And Rob is actually a Dragonborn. Yes, from Skyrim, with all the associated powers, though he still cannot hear. I will tell you about the ending shortly, but before that, everything sort of crumbles into a miasma of changing allegiances, increasingly gore-filled action scenes, and more story points, many of which go nowhere. Eventually I became numb to all the gore and darkness and death and the pontificating pretentious pieces of preposterous and puzzling dialogue that I just started questioning my sanity. Sometimes this story just takes itself too seriously and begins to lose me, without really offering anything funny to the table beyond the basic ridiculousness of the overall plot. But every once in a while I'm reminded of why I'm actually making this review in the first place, and why I actually kinda like this comic. For a somewhat shitty MS Paint comic, it actually has some detailed expressions and nice fight scenes and just genuinely pretty cool art sometimes. The jokes are legitimately funny, and the dialogue's absurdity in general is just the kind of thing that tickles my funny bone. No, that's not a double entendre, you sick bastards. For example, like when Shadow points at a blank paper and says, "Okay everyone, do you guys see this paper? Well, there's nothing on it yet, but there will be."
Hey, can you put that on a coaster?
Bugs, he can't hear you and you really need to chill. We will clean up after ourselves.
We need a plan.
Luigi, why are you dressed up? We are not superheroes, we are troll killers, so why don't you take that gay shit off? Guys, come on, we need to focus. Okay, any ideas to stop the trolls once and for all? And while the story is kinda out there and obviously made up as Laserbot goes along, there are some genuinely good twists and really clever uses of the medium here. Like when the defenders give really long-winded backstories to a disinterested Tails. Turns out the speech bubbles are absurdly long for a reason, to hide information that will foreshadow future events. Sure, I got burned out reading Tails Gets Trolled, but the first third or so is a pretty magical experience, and it perfectly straddles the line between self-awarely ironic and unabashedly shitty. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about the ongoing remake, Tails Gets Trolled Polished, which makes dialogue more grammatically correct, touches up the art a bit, and dedicates an insane amount of time developing secondary characters and going over some weird relationship drama, and I'm like, what the fuck? But anyway, here's the ending. After pages and pages of surprisingly good art, fourth wall breaking, and unnamed minor trolls getting slaughtered in creative ways, I'm kinda losing interest, but still hoping that we find out what the World of Death is, how the Troll King is gonna be defeated, and what will Tails do with his training. But we get nothing, because the story is actually not finished. Unintentionally maybe, but in a way this kinda fits. This is a love letter to niche early 2010s internet culture, DeviantArt inside jokes, and just straight up insanity. It's like the My Immortal of the 2010s, except with an insane amount of love and effort put into it. This was Tails Gets Trolled. Anyone else feel kinda blue-balled?